Hey guys, welcome back to But I'm Just a Girl podcast. I am going to get right into it because, oh my gosh, this past week has been so rough. Guys, this past week has been so bad that I have honestly considered shaving my head. No, I'm not even joking. I've honestly considered walking around the corner, buying some clippers at the local store, and shaving all my hair off. That's how bad this weekend has been. Okay, if you guys, listen to my very first episode, holidays with homophobic family, you guys know that I am a, young lesbian living in a abusive homophobic household. So unfortunately, I've been, battling that. And it's just gotten pretty bad the past few days. And then on top of that, I have been struggling with seasonal depression. I don't know what it is about the month of January, but every year, the month of January, I just get hit with a random wave of seasonal depression. And it hasn't helped that it has been snowing like crazy these past few days. But, okay, what time is it? Okay, it's actually 3 a.m. that I'm recording this. I'm recording this at 3 a.m. So, last night, I DoorDashed some good food to the house. I watched Pretty Little Liars on Hulu, and now I'm feeling just a little bit better. And I'm ready to record this episode. This is going to be episode 3. I posted episode 2 to Spotify. I did not post it to YouTube because, I don't know, I just didn't, okay? Please don't come at me. But episode 3, this will definitely be on YouTube because I got a very wonderful positive comment from, I forgot their username, but they left a very nice comment, and it really encouraged me to keep posting, not just to Spotify, but to YouTube. So let's get into it. Thank you to that person for leaving that comment. Really appreciate it. Mwah, mwah, kisses. And yeah, let's get into it. Guys, where do we even start? Okay, I want to start with Lily Gladstone. If you guys don't know, Lily Gladstone, she, at the Golden Globes, the recent Golden Globes, she's the first Native American woman to win Best Actress, and it's great. It's amazing. So happy for her. I did touch on the topic of Joe Coy and him being an absolute awful misogynistic host in the previous episode 2. You got to check that out on Spotify because I did not post it to YouTube, like I said. But I just want to kind of touch on white feminism and what I've noticed with the Lily Gladstone situation. So I just think it's really interesting that Lily Gladstone is literally the first Native American woman in history to win Best Actress. And no one's talking about it. Not only is no one talking about it, but everyone on the internet is literally crying and whining because Margot Robbie was not nominated for the award. Now, don't get me wrong. Margot Robbie, as well as Greta, the producer of the film, the creator of the film, I think it's unfair that they weren't nominated, especially since Ryan Gosling was nominated for playing the role of Ken, even though Barbie herself was not nominated. So I get why people are upset. I get why people are complaining. But I just think it's really interesting that we have that feminists who are apparently so supportive of all women, of all colors, and yet we have this woman, this Native American woman that has literally made history, and not one feminist online, not one popular feminist that I see online is acknowledging her. But you know what they are acknowledging? The fact that Margot Robbie was not nominated. Everyone is so busy crying over the fact that Margot Robbie was not nominated that we are completely ignoring the fact that a Native American woman just made history. Literally made history, and no one's talking about it. And it really just reminds me, how feminism has always just been about white women. Feminism has always been for white women, and it always will be. And we see that time and time again. You guys don't know this because you obviously don't know me or what I look like, but I am an African American woman. And, this Lily Gladstone situation just really showed me why I've always been hesitant to use the word feminist, even though I'm so passionate about women's rights. And you guys prove it every day. Like, don't get me wrong. I get why Margot Robbie should have been nominated. I get that. But it's like, to just completely ignore Lily Gladstone's accomplishment, like, instead of acknowledging the woman that actually was nominated and actually won the award, we would rather cry and complain over the one white actress that didn't get the award, And I also think it's very interesting how, I see a lot of these girls, the feminists, the quote unquote feminists, they'll like post like videos and pictures of women from the Golden Globes who have won awards. And they will specifically only post the white women, even though we have, like I said, Lily Gladstone, a literal Native American woman, the first Native American woman in history to win Best Actress at the Golden Globes. Not one person has posted a picture of Lily. Not one quote-unquote feminist has posted a video of Lily. Not to mention, I forgot her name. Oh my gosh. Another Black actress who won an award as well. No one's talking about them, right? Everyone is just crying over Margot Robbie or only acknowledging the white women who won. And this is why I say, as a person of color, we have always been left out of feminist spaces. Like, feminist spaces have never really been for us. And we can just look at how everyone is treating this Golden Globe situation. Why is it that we have women of color who have literally made history and not one feminist is posting about them, posting videos about them, but they're making like 5 videos a day, 5 TikToks a day complaining about how Margot Robbie and Greta didn't win an award, instead of acknowledging the woman that actually did and literally made history, And, I don't even want to touch on this topic for too long because I can already feel myself like getting riled up. But I just really wanted to call that out and mention that. It's very interesting and very telling on how a lot of these white feminists are really for themselves. They only care about white women. They don't actually care about everyone else. And I just feel like, as a Black woman who is passionate about women's rights, I just like, where do I fit in? Like, where do I fit in these white feminist spaces? Because it's like, you guys have made it very clear that you're all for yourselves. Like, the very first white feminists, in America specifically, they specifically only fought for the rights of white women. Not all women, white women specifically. So even since the beginning, it's like, dang, like, where do we fit in? Like, where do we have a voice, I don't know. But this whole Lily thing has really annoyed me, but I just want to end that off by saying congratulations to Lily Gladstone for making history. Absolutely amazing, and I wish her the best. Okay, so let me just mention that I am completely freeballing this episode right now. I try to have like a list of topics I want to discuss, but I'm honestly just freeballing it because I don't know, I just really like talking to you guys, and I'm just kind of talking about different things, getting things off my chest. And yeah, I hope you guys are cool with this like format. I know I'm kind of like all over the place, like jumping from topic to topic, but just bear with me. So the next thing I want to talk about is failed situationships and mourning a relationship you've never had. Like, no, like mourning a person who you've never even dated. Like, can we just talk about how insane the concept of situationships are? Like, and when it doesn't work out and it fails, it's actually insane because you'll be like kind of heartbroken, especially if it was something with someone you really liked, or the, you know, quote unquote talking stage lasted for like a significant amount of time. It's like having a breakup, but with someone that you weren't even in a relationship with. Like, you know, let me just share my personal experience. Okay, so guys, I'm a lesbian, right? I think I mentioned that. I mean, obviously I mentioned that. I had like my first episode was like dedicated to that, right? But I feel like for me, for honestly anyone who identifies as queer LGBT, you know, relationships for us it's kind of intense. It is. And I'm not saying that straight people don't have intense relationships, but first of all, there's already a lot of societal pressure and backlash being in a homosexual relationship, right? So there's just like the pressure of not conforming to a traditional straight normal relationship, and then, you know, fear of, you know, being out with your partner on the streets and having to worry about homophobic attacks, and then, you know, coming to terms with your sexuality and identity, especially for people like myself who do come from homophobic households, abusive homophobic households at that. You know, it's just a really big thing, right? So when we go through these failed situationships, it's a big deal because it's like, let me just give you an example. Okay, so when I was 16, okay, I don't want to say fell in love. Like, I wasn't in love with her, but I had like my first, I guess, I wouldn't even say first girl crush because I've had crushes on girls before, but I was so like in denial about my sexuality that I didn't even acknowledge that those were crushes. So this girl, she was the first girl that I actually acknowledged having a crush on. And it was actually a big deal because I actually came out to my parents for this girl because I was so obsessed with her. I wanted to be with her so bad. Mind you, this is just a talking stage. She was never actually my girlfriend. But I was so obsessed with her because it was a big deal for me, okay? It was a big deal for me, you know, finally admitting to myself that I wasn't straight, right? And finally allowing myself to have an actual crush on someone. Like, before I knew that I was gay, I can make a whole separate episode about this. But, you know, I just never could relate to like my straight friends who would like have crushes on guys and things like that. I just never could relate to them. And like guys would ask me out. Like, guys would literally ask me out. And my friends just didn't understand why I was always rejecting them. And honestly, I didn't understand it either. Like, these were like good guys who were asking me out, and I just couldn't bring myself to date them. I know now it was because, you know, gay. But at the time, I didn't know that, right? But anyways, this girl was a really big deal to me because she was the first person that I actually allowed myself to have feelings for. I came out to my parents for her because I just wanted to be with her so bad. And she honestly kind of scarred me. Like, I feel like I've healed from that. But long story short, came out to my parents for her. Not only did they had a terrible reaction and literally abuse me, beat the crap out of me for days straight. But on top of that, that same girl who I came out to my parents for, she ended up leaving me. Well, I can't even say leaving me. Like I said, never actually my girlfriend. But I found out that she was secretly dating one of my close friends behind my back. Yeah. Like, so, and that's a whole other story because that close friend was a lesbian as well, and she was like in love with me. Like she actually told me like, hey, I have feelings for you. And I didn't feel the same way because, you know, she was my friend. I just didn't see her that way. And so that friend, she knew that I liked this girl. And I guess as a way to like get revenge on me for like not liking her, she went and started messing with the girl I liked behind my back. The girl I was talking to behind my back. What pisses me off, guys, is me and this girl, we were in a talking stage for like 7 months. Like, no, wait, 7 months? Actually, no, it was like maybe 5 months, actually. Yeah, for like 5 months. We started talking like September, and January, I found out she's messing with my friend. I cut her off. Like, first of all, can we just acknowledge how I am literally getting off topic right now? Like, I did not mean to tell you guys all of that backstory and lore about my high school messy love triangle that I was unintentionally in. I can do a separate episode about that whole messy situation if you want. But yeah, so, you know, it really pained me because, first of all, this girl literally dragged me along for 5 months. And she knew that she was the first girl that I actually dated. Not officially, because let me emphasize that this was not my girlfriend. I went through all of that stress and heartache for someone that wasn't even mine. Let's keep that in mind. But anyways, she knew that. She knew that she was the first girl that I like was publicly dating and interested in, and she knew that, and she purposely dragged me along for months while secretly messing with my friend. And she also had other girls she was talking to at the time as well. And guys, when I tell you that relationship, not even that situationship, literally, kind of scarred me. It was horrible. Like, I don't think you guys understand. When you are a lesbian, a gay, or whatever, when you're a queer person, right? When you are a queer person and you begin to have feelings towards someone of the same sex for the first time, it is a very big deal, because through that attraction to that person, you are admitting to yourself that you are not straight. And not being straight is kind of a big deal. We live in a society where heterosexuality is the norm. It's the standard. So it was a big deal for me to even like her. Like I said, I came out to my parents for this girl. And she put me through absolute HE double hockey sticks, okay? And I literally mourned that relationship for years. Like, you know when they say, like, your first, like, women love women, like, gay relationship ends, it's, like, a big deal. It really was. Like, it took me years to heal from that. And I went through multiple stages of grief and anger, and I literally couldn't even, like, date anyone or talk to any other girl for a while because of what that girl put me through. And, you know, I also want to briefly talk about recently, like last September to October, I had a 3-week, can I even call that a situationship? More like a 3-week infatuation with a very flirty barista. A very flirty barista that I met at a coffee stand at the local park in Manhattan. And, you know, long story short, I don't want to get into that. It didn't work out. She was just emotionally distant. I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much, but it just didn't work out, okay? It was a fail. Another failed situationship under my belt. And it just, like, it took me a few weeks after her to actually process that. And it just kind of hit me one day. I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, why am I mourning and healing and having to process feelings that from women I've never even dated? Like, the whole concept of situationships is actually so freaking insane. Like, what do you mean we've never even dated and yet I'm crying over you? Like, what do you mean you were never even my girlfriend and yet I have heartache over you? What do you mean you were never even my girlfriend and yet you broke my heart? Like, what? Like, it's actually insane. The whole concept of situationship is insane. Like, especially failed situationships, because you will literally be heartbroken over someone who was never even yours. Never even yours. And dare I say, failed situationships as an LGBT person, as someone dating the same sex, is even more intense. Because like I said, if you're someone coming from a homophobic family, or just general societal pressures and societal backlash towards homosexuals, it's already a big deal in itself to be romantically interested in talking to someone of the same gender. So to have to go through all of that, the pressures, the homophobia, the acceptance of your sexuality and identity, having to go through all of that just for you guys to not even end up dating, like having to go through all of that just for us to not even end up in a relationship is actually insane. Like, going through all of that for what? And like, I am so tired and sick of situationships. Like, 2024, no more situationships, no more girls wasting my time. It's either, are we dating or what? Okay, obviously you can't just immediately start dating the first person you meet. Like, there has to be some stage of getting to know each other and all that. But I'm just talking about like just the whole thing of, being in these like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 7 month, year long situationships with people who are quite literally just stringing you along and wasting your time. And one thing I've learned from my failed situationships is, if the person you're talking to really liked you, like if they really liked you, they would be dating you. If they really liked you and they really wanted to be in a relationship with you, you would be dating them right now. You would be in a relationship with them. So I'm all for getting to know people. But if you've been talking to someone, if it's been like, I'm talking like over a month, like we're talking 2+ months of talking to someone, and they haven't even brought up the conversation of making things official. They haven't even said anything about an actual committed relationship. Like, I'm cutting it off. Like, it's actually too much. Like, it's exhausting. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay, like, I am, like, one of my main goals for this year is to actually get back out there and start dating. And honestly, I don't even feel like I really dated as a lesbian, because really most of my experiences with women is like failed situationships, honestly, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm like literally spilling all the tea on myself right now. Like, I've had relationships, that's just the 2 women I've mentioned, but like with other women as well. But I don't know, I just feel like it never really gone to where I wanted it to go. Like, I don't know. Like, I really want to start, like, seriously dating this year. Like, still having fun. Still, meeting the girlies and putting myself out there. But, like, no more childish talking stages. No more texting. Like, I want to go out on actual dates. Like, we should be actually going on dates with each other and getting to know each other, not just like texting for like months and like meeting up here and there and just like wasting everyone's time. So that's what I want to say about that. Speaking of getting myself out there, into the dating scene, okay. So another little fact about me is that I am someone who you would call like straight passing. Like, I'm a lesbian, but I don't look like a lesbian. Like, all of this physical stereotypical things that you would associate with a lesbian, like, I don't know, short haircut, piercings, like masculine, like whatever. Like, everyone has like an idea of what they think a lesbian should look like. I do not fit that. I literally look like a straight girl. Like, if you guys don't know what I look like, because I'm pretty much anonymous on here, but if you saw me walk down the street, you would think that I was just a normal straight girl. Like, there's nothing about me that screams gay. So I have been actively working hard to like purchase like lesbian jewelry. Like, I bought a bracelet with like the lesbian flag colors. Sorry about that. My voice is kind of like cracking, but yeah. I bought a bracelet with the lesbian flag colors. I bought a necklace with the lesbian symbol, which is basically just like the two like female symbols like conjoined. I got that. I also plan on getting, I don't know, maybe like a tote bag with the lesbian flag colors. I don't know, but I just feel like one of the main reasons why I haven't had too much experience dating as a lesbian is because girls usually don't know that I'm lesbian, right? Like, other lesbians usually don't know that I'm lesbian. I like, the girls that I've had, had situationships in the past. Sorry, I feel like I'm stuttering. Also, please keep in mind that it is literally now 4 a.m. in the morning, okay? So if I'm stuttering and I'm a little bit groggy, like, forgive me. But yeah, so I've always had to make the first move. Like, when it came to, like, approaching women, like, I've always had to make the first move because lesbians don't look at me and know, like, oh, she's one of us. So I have to kind of, like, approach them and let them know, like, hey, I'm one of you, and, like, put myself out there. And that's been fine, but like, I've really been trying to buy like more lesbian jewelry and staples, I guess, to just kind of signal to like other gays that I'm like one of them, Also, my college that I'm going to has a LGBT club that I'm thinking about joining. I think I'm just gonna go to like one meeting just to see. Like, I'm just gonna go just to see like the vibes and how it's going. And I'm not just going to like meet girls and all that, but I just think it'd be nice to have like some LGBT friends, because like I've only had straight friends so far and it's been exhausting. Like, I can make a whole separate episode on the struggles of being gay or just queer in general and not having friends who relate to that. But yeah, so I'm going to be joining that. I actually start spring semester on next Monday on the 29th. So I'm going to be starting the very first day of spring semester of my junior year of college. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm so ready to go back to school. And my very first semester at this school, because I'm a transfer, I just kind of stayed to myself. But I'm really looking forward to actually joining clubs and making friends and like actually getting involved in campus life, and I'm really excited. Okay, guys, I am going to wrap it up here. We are approaching the 30-minute mark. The second episode was like an hour long. I do not want my episodes to be that long in the future. I want to try to keep it to like a half hour from now on. So I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate the support. If you are listening to this on YouTube, please look this podcast up on Spotify, but I'm just a girl, ! Exactly as you see it written on the channel. I would leave a link, but unfortunately, YouTube is bougie and they won't allow you to leave a link on in your description box unless you have a certain amount of subscribers. So I can't leave a link to my Spotify podcast yet. So just search it up. Okay, I would prefer, I mean, I'm okay with you guys listening on YouTube, but I would really prefer if you guys actually listen to it on Spotify. Because also on Spotify, it's just better, okay? I highly recommend it. I'm going to be posting every week. Anywhere from like Thursday to Saturday, okay? Like, because it originally was Thursdays, and then I think the last episode I posted on like a Friday, or was it a Saturday? I don't know. But just know that I'm going to be posting new episodes every week, anywhere from Thursday to Saturday, okay? It's definitely not going to be on the days that I have school, but yeah, Thursday to Saturday every week. Keep an eye out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope I wasn't like talking your head off. And thank you for listening. Goodbye. Kisses.